Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 40 for Thursday, the 22nd of October 2020. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G. And joining me on this special episode is...
Deadly Dubs, the deadliest man in gaming.
And Russell Smith, aka Mr. Average UK.
Oh, hey! Yeah, so this is a special
How's it going, mate?
Yeah, all good. This is a special midweek show then, mainly discussing everything PC, which is a little bit different to the usual shows, because most people that listen are console gamers, and most of my co-hosts are also console gamers. But obviously, I've moved to PC, and people are sick of hearing about it. But I think we need to explain some stuff, so we're going to explain the transition from consoles to PC that we've all done in the last few years.
I think they've all been different as well, haven't they?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And just some of the games, and obviously the main game that we've been playing, which is Escape from Tarkov, which is a PC exclusive.
Yeah, it's a hardcore first person. Amazing.
Super hardcore. So I don't know who wants to go first. I mean, do you want me to jump in?
I reckon you can start. Yeah, start. How did you transition from console to PC?
I'm probably a little bit different to most people. I mean, because I PC gamed in the late 90s. I remember playing Half-Life and then kind of died off on it when I got back into consoles. So I've been mainly consoles my whole life, to be honest, especially the Xbox generation, starting off with the original Xbox and going through every single Xbox generation. But with the 360, I had a PC and I dabbled in Warcraft a little bit, but never really took off. In my, PC gaming never really took off for me back then. And then 2017, I was working for an IT company, and everyone I was working with was PC gamers, and they were all, doing the piss taking and explaining to me just about the PC game and then the differences, etc. So I was like, oh, you know what, I want to get into this really.
Were you a bit like me and just like, I can't do the whole keyboard thing with the moving, it's going to be too difficult? Or you're like, I could do it, That's what always put me off.
I mean, the main thing for me, the biggest barrier to entry for me was the initial cost, to be honest, because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So I've actually built a couple of PCs in the last 3 years. So I started off quite cheap, actually. Built my first PC. I cheaped out on everything I could. CPU, case.
That's not a good idea.
Card. And I enjoyed it, to be honest. I mean, my first monitor was actually an old TV as well. So I went in really cheap. But then over time, just talking to more people, they were like, look, just get some better bits. So the first thing I did was get a decent monitor with the G-Sync, which improved things. And then I've gone through 3 graphics cards in 3 years as well. So
the biggest expense.
Yeah, it is. So I went for a 1060 first of all, because that was quite cheap. And then from that to a 1070, and then to the 2070 Super. But one thing I do want to explain to people is, I know you can go all out and spend a lot of money on PCs, but you don't have to. You can still get a really good experience by going quite mid-range, to be quite honest.
Yeah, you don't have to spend the thousands, do you, as you say. If you can get into it, entry level, into PC gaming at a good spec for not super money. So there is so many options.
It's difficult not to do that, though, isn't it? I mean, it's difficult not to spend a lot of money. Because
I think,
you especially if you're going from like the console to PC game, because your expectation is high, because PC gaming is it's such a big deal. So people are like, oh, okay, I want this ray tracing technology, I want this 144 hertz or whatever, which you can't get on console at the moment. Obviously, I know ray tracing is coming soon with the new consoles, but you're never going to get 144. FPS or whatever. So, I think it's hard not to spend a lot of money on PCs. But you're right, Webby. You can definitely achieve a sort of medium range PC with some good gaming experience. Definitely.
I think that what a lot of people struggle with is going from like, well, look, I can buy an Xbox for X price, 300, 400 quid. Like, it's 800 quid for this PC. Like, what is it? How better is it going to be? Is it worth it? Blah, blah, blah. And I think that's why a lot of people go for the consoles, ready-made gaming. They don't see the potential that of upgrades and, with the PCs give you. You can get an entry-level one and go, actually, like you said yourself, actually, I went cheap, but I've now got a 2070 Super. Actually, I'm going to buy the new i9 CPU, actually, you can do it step by step and build it up to a better machine. Whereas with the console, you are stuck. This is the machine. You are not going to get any better for 7 years. So you're going to like it, or you're done, basically. And that's
why they release sort of like the PS4 Pro, isn't it? Like 3 months later, or 3 years later, or whatever it was, they released that. But you are, like you said, you are committed to what they make. Whereas PC, you can just hit any part that you want.
There's no limitations.
I think when you want.
I think that's what interested me into it as well. It's like, it's the same as you a bit. Like, I don't want to jump the gun from it, but as I say, Dubs was the one who was the main guy for me and was like, built a PC, and I'm like, what are you doing? There's no point in that. You're like, no, I'm gonna do it. And I was just like, and then you were like, I'm gonna build my own, weren't you? And I was just like, really? Have you ever done this before? And then, what did you do?
I've never done it before.
How did you get into PC?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, it's quite funny because Webby got me into it, and then I got you into it.
Yeah, and
right?
got me into
it. This is how we're here today.
Oh, your fault.
But
my wife does not know how much is on that credit card. Here she is.
But Webby's been telling me for years to transition to PC gaming and the benefits to it. Yeah. And for me, one of the reasons that put me off doing it in the first place was having a dedicated desk area.
You need, and it's not just a console and a TV, is it? It's a whole.
No, it's a whole area you've got to have going on, right?
Accommodate an entire room.
As we know, the convenience of consoles is just on your TV. Yeah, you can just tuck it on the mantelpiece there or whatever. You don't need a desk area or a study room or whatever. Yeah. So that kind of put me off for a while. And then got the go ahead from the wife, and then did it.
As always, we need the tick in the box.
but I when Webby introduced me to the website PC Part Picker, right, which is fantastic, and took me a while to get used to it because you can be overwhelmed by all the parts. Like you just put GPUs in there, you're getting thousands of results, right? So you really got to kind of narrow it down. You got to kind of have a bit of knowledge and narrow it down to what you want, So I used that, and then I kind of compared the price of what that would be with all the parts with, like, say, a ready-built one from, like, Overclockers or Scan or whoever else, right? And you can save a lot of money. I think, give or take, I saved probably about $1,000 by 800 to $1,000 by doing the PC part pickers, and then building it myself, which was great. But it took me a long time. Well, it took me a good week to do it. It's not really a long time, but I was up till like 3 a.m. doing it every night of the week.
Took me a day to build mine.
Yeah, tell them why yours took a day.
Because you built it for me.
Yeah. So I learned from all my mistakes from my PC, and then built his in a day.
Nice.
It's like, don't buy that, buy this one, buy that, buy this. Yeah. I'm like, I've absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but okay, fine. Let's get this, let's get that.
Yeah.
And then
but I enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I enjoyed doing it. I would say my PC was stressful to make because I'd never done it before, and I was watching loads of tutorials. I mean, you can get lost, once again, overwhelmed by how many tutorials there is out there. And then in the end, got it done, and then obviously twisted your arm average to get one. And then I said, get all this, get that, and I'm coming round. We took a day off work and just built it in your house in a day. It was great.
Yeah, but my transition, as you say, it was similar to Dubs's. Well, I was playing Call of Duty on the. I've been out of gaming for like 4 or 5 years, and I just bought a Xbox S Is it Xbox One S? Is that it? Is it One S?
One S, yeah.
I bought that around Christmas time, and because the kids, I got young kids, and they were getting a bit older, and I was like, I'll get a couple of hours now in the evening. So I was playing Call of Duty on it all the time, and then you just built yours, and you're like, you need to come and see it. I was like, I don't care about PCs. You're all gays. I don't care. I was like, no, and I was like, all right, I come around, looked at it, and I was like, wow, this is impressive. And you were playing Warzone, you were playing Call of Duty on it. I was like, this is the same as
same game as you, right? At the time,
like, mine looks absolutely terrible. Mine's terrible. I was like, I want that. How do I get that? And he's like, well, you need $2,000. And I was like, oh, right.
And that's the big barrier to entry. As I said before, it's that initial outlay. But what I have found with some of the small upgrades I've made throughout the past few years, which I didn't actually need to do but wanted to do.
You always want to do things, don't you? You're like, oh, I've got a couple of £100, or I've got £100. I'll get this, I'll get that, and you can just,
100%. But it's like I've been having chats with people about obviously the new consoles and obviously the new 3000 series cards are out, and just the price difference, right? Well, no one can get one, but people are saying, well, I can get an Xbox Series X for $450, which is mega powerful. It's meant to be as powerful as like a 2080, so they say on paper. Just for that. But then the thing that I always come back to is it's the games. Now, you look at next gen. With the PS5, the games are going to be £70 a pop. That's a hell of a lot of money for a game.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a game, isn't it?
It is a lot of money,
And on PC,
are they download only or are they disc? I don't really know.
You can get them both. But what I've found is buying games off CD key sites or off key sites like CD keys.
Yeah.
You can get launch games. Games on launch.
Like triple A's.
Yeah, for like £35. But what I have found is in the past year or so that those prices are creeping up on PC. But it's not. I think they are. It's not keeping up to the level of the price of the equivalents on the console though, and that's obviously because the console manufacturers they take the cut.
Yeah, exactly. I found interesting more recently than ever, and you'll know this. For example, Squad has just been released. It's you can download and play games in alpha and beta state, so you can actually help develop the game. You know what I mean? So instead of being like, there's a new game come out, it's like you're like, well, I've been playing that for 2 years. You know what I mean?
That's a Squad I have been playing for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. It just got released, and I saw it, and I was like, this looks quite good. And you were like, and it was like, I've been playing that for years. I've had it for ages. It's like, do you know what? Like, and that's so good that you can watch games grow and develop, and that's why me and Dubs love Tarkov as well so much, because not only is it so hard, and it's not a good thing that games are hard, but like we'll get into that later. But it's still in development, so they introduce new things, they release patches, and so it's still evolving. It's not even an end game. It's still not. It's probably another 12 months away from end game, and it's like, but to be able to play games in that state is different than just playing. I like Call of Duty, don't get me wrong, but you get sweaties and everything. But like the game is good, and they always do bring out new content and stuff like that. But as I say, it's just helping the development and stuff like that.
It's a big benefit to PC gaming, definitely, that you can join in and out. I mean, don't get me wrong, alpha stage
and it's all community, isn't it?
For the games, but good on beta is good, and you don't have to wait until the game's fully released to get a taste of it. Whereas console, generally, the game has to be fully developed before it's released on console. So I like that. That's another major benefit, I think, of PC.
And half the time, the console games that are released, if they're not AAA, some of them are just absolute crap, aren't they? You're like, what have I just spent £50 on this absolute crap? Where at least on PC, if it's like an averagey game, it's like what, £22, and you're like, well, I'm not too bothered about that. I'll just delete it.
I mean, one example on early access for me was Wreckfest. That I think that only came out early this year or late last year. And
I think I've heard of it.
And someone was talking to me saying, "Oh yeah, I've just picked this up on Xbox." I was thinking to myself, "I'm sure I've played this before." And I looked at my Steam library, and I had bought it in 2015. I was was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
did you replay it again? Did you?
Yeah, and it was
retry
completely different. It was completely different.
wow.
Yeah, and obviously I'd
It's had a
saved a
good
lot of
few
money.
years to develop, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'd saved a lot of money as well because obviously the games are
because
usually
you get
cheaper.
full release,
apparently.
don't you?
Yeah,
You get full
Well,
release.
it's like that, Webby. It's like that bright memory, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to release the full game, aren't they, when the Xbox One X comes out?
Yeah.
Isn't that right? Isn't
Yeah.
that what they were saying, claiming to be done? And we bought that. Was it like £7 something?
Yeah, it was
on
ages
Steam?
ago as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cheap. Obviously, you can only play like the first two levels on it.
Yeah.
But they're going to release the full game, and they said like if you bought it at that stage, you'll get the full game upon release.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah,
you're getting potentially a high class game or AAA game or whatever.
I mean,
really cheap.
When Tarkov is released, that's going to be a AAA game for PC, 100%. And because we've got obviously Webby's got the poor edition, and we've got the full edition, like Edge of Darkness, which costs in excess of 3 figures. We won't go into that too much. How much it costs?
We're the most expensive game, and here's us talking about the benefit of the prices of PC games.
£109 but you get a giant butt, so it's fine.
Massive
but,
butt.
You get all free. Any future content is free as well. You haven't got to ever pay for another download.
That is
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons which got me big into PC gaming in the last few years was the games that you can only get on that platform.
Yeah.
So the big one for me was Armour 3, because I love my military games.
Massive, yeah.
And I had a hell of a lot of fun on that because it's super realistic. It's got so many different vehicles.
It's got like different diversions as well, hasn't it? It's Armour 3 and it's like 8 or 9 different variants in it as well, isn't there?
And the map is ginormous. I mean, it's absolutely insane how big it is. And you can just jump into multiplayer servers and there's people that just make their own missions and you go and do them. And the multiplayer is just insane.
Really? You can make your own mission?
Yeah, it's got a whole mission editor in it, but it's got things like people have dedicated jobs within the game, so only people that are a pilot can fly the planes, and tankers and all that sort of stuff.
That's mad.
Yeah, but it's very, very good, but it's very demanding as well on your PC.
Is it similar to Squad at all, that Armour 3 then? Or?
Not really. Squad's, because obviously Squad is more...
military
infantry. It's infantry based. Infantry
based,
and it really needs communication within the game. You have to talk.
Like, the main thing is communication, isn't it? I saw
100%.
playing it, and it's got to be like, I'm over here.
It's similar where you have a role to play, isn't it? Like you have a role to play. You have a commander or whatever.
Yeah.
And listen.
But the thing I like about those sort of games is because there's another one called Hell Let Loose, which is very similar. If you're the if you're the squad leader, you have a separate chat which is just for all the other squad leaders. So then the squad leaders all talk to each other, and you talk tactics, and then you relay those, your squad specific tactics back to your squad.
Yeah.
And
because I imagine it's good that they did that, because I imagine if you've got so many voices you're hearing and stuff, it must be very difficult to command.
Yeah. But it's
again, I think this is benefits of PC gaming. I don't think you could really do that as well on consoles.
Well, those games just aren't available on console, are they?
No, they're not,
But that's the thing. If you're into your because you've got games like Euro Truck Simulator, for example, and American Truck
massive,
Simulator.
Massive. Flight
these,
Simulator.
Yeah, even though
they're mega money.
Yeah, the new Flight Sim's coming to Series X, which is a first for a console.
That is going to be demanding.
It looks very realistic. I saw. I saw it on YouTube, someone playing it, and it looked. Yeah, it looked boring as fuck. But,
I love it. The thing is, I love those sort of games.
I prefer. I'm a head popper. I want to pop heads. But I cannot be bothered. I don't have patience for that. But in terms of its looks, it looks.
Again, it's very demanding, but I really like it because it's one of those things. I've got a flight stick, so I can play it properly, and I just really enjoy it. It's a great game.
It's one of them things where you can lose hours on it if you're I want to chill out, and then do it. And that's the game. The other thing with the PCs is with the flight sim and truck sim, they attract a larger array of ages as well, don't you think? Older people play games. Like, well, Gray, isn't it your wife's granddad plays PC games?
Yeah. He's a PC gamer.
Didn't he come round and go, look at my new PC and you've got your controller out? And he was like,
yeah.
what is that? You call yourself a PC gamer? You got like ripped apart by an 80-year-old for not having
Yeah, he's in his 80s and he made his PC. He's made his for years, and he's with it. He's with it all. He's like up to date with all the games. He's pre-ordered Cyberpunk, so he's awesome. You rarely see like an 8-year-old guy or whatever playing a console.
No, you can barely see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's that Pornhub? I've got this thing called Pornhub. Access it. Google Pornhub.
Yeah, but back to what Webby was saying about how much, or how high spec the the Series X is for the money. It's quite shocking, actually, what you're getting for Is it $450? Webby?
Yeah,
is that
the standard one?
I mean,
that's the premium one. That's
the 450 is the premium one, yeah.
Premium one, yeah.
So I was very shocked by that price because I was predicting £600-700 for.
Well, we both were, weren't we? Both.
Yeah. I was expecting
you've got to. There's a few things to consider with this One X. It's like, obviously they're talking about 4K 120, yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that 4K 120 is very hard to achieve with any game, because 4K resolution is so demanding alone, and then to have them sort of frames with that, like that's something's got to budge, right? You can't. I know they got that DLSS 2.0, but I don't know if that's coming to console, is it?
No, because it's AMD.
Nvidia, isn't it?
that's
Nvidia's
thing.
At
the moment.
So I know, but also, it's relying on HDMI 2.1 to get that, right? And as we know, I don't think there's any monitors out at the moment, or there may be one or two out there that have got HDMI 2.1. But if they are out, they're over $1,000 easy, and there's obviously TVs that are gonna need HDMI 2.1, and I'm sure they're going to be out or coming out soon, end of this year or whatever. But you're talking a lot of money to reap the benefits of the Xbox Series X here.
Yeah, for the TVs. But then you got Watch Dogs coming out, and that's at 4K and 30 frames per second on the Series X. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, but what I'm saying is 4K 30 was achieved on the One X.
I know on many games. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you could. We've already people that had One X, including myself and you, Web.
Yeah, I've still got mine.
We've seen 4K 30 before we went to PC or whatever. So what I'm saying is that they're talking about 4K 120. That's great, but you need to have 2.1 HDMI. You can't get that from 2.0 because 2.0 only offers 4K 60.
And personally, I think you're going to get very few games that will hit that benchmark.
Yeah. Well, no, they won't because 4K 60
TVs won't handle
more realistic, isn't it? 4K 60, then you can get that from HDMI 2.0, but it's a hell of an upgrade, isn't it? To buy a console for $450, which is good price, but then you have to pay $1,000 for maybe a monitor, right? Yeah. You have to pay maybe $1,500 to $2,000 or whatever for a TV that has that ability. I don't know, and then you're weighing it up, and then you think, well, fucking hell, I might as well go to PC. I don't know. It's a lot of money, right? In the end,
I mean,
the benefit.
You're not going to be getting the full power out of. People aren't going to be able to plug in the monitor into their standard shitty TV and go, I've now got 120 frames. And a lot of people aren't like me and you and know the statistics and figures and actually know what you can get out of your machine. They think, I'll plug it in. It's going to be the max it can be. You're like, do you even know what output your TV has? They'll be like, no. It's like,
yeah.
It's like I'm a mechanic with cars, and do you know what I said to people? It was just a quick thing. I said to people recently, 2 people. I said, do you know what the tread does on your car? So I'm going to ask you a quick question, Mark. Do you know what the tread does on your tyres?
Oh, it stops you skidding or something. I don't know.
It displaces water. Yeah, the whole point of tread is to displace water, and everyone goes, it gives you grip. I'm like, no, It doesn't give you grip. Slick tyres is the maximum amount of grip to the floor, yeah?
Sorry, mate, this is about gaming.
Yeah, but my point is...
Could you just shut up about your fucking mechanics?
My point is
Fuck's
that
sake,
people...
who gives a fuck about that at the moment, man? We're talking
people
about...
don't know about it. It's the point.
No.
People don't know about what things
People
do.
choose
And
to
it's the same with
know
computers.
about that. Who
People
cares?
drive cars, they don't know what's going on behind the wheel. They don't know.
You.
It's the same with consoles. People buy an Xbox, they plug it in, and they just play games. They don't care about how much they get, do they? They don't care about the maximum capabilities.
Well, most people just want to play games.
I understand your point, yeah.
They just want to play. They just want to plug it in and play. And that's it. So a lot of times they're like, I can't be bothered with PC. It's too much faffing about.
100%.
Let's just plug it in, play FIFA, score some goals, shoot some people, go to bed, have a wank, job done. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. So,
but then on social media, you see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I wish we had all these options on the Series X to change the resolution."
Buy a PC then.
Stuff. And I'm like, well, why don't you just get a PC then? Because I can see this generation of consoles is more like PC gaming anyway. They've got the mid-gen upgrades.
Yeah.
Upgrades. And you've got options within a lot of games to have on performance mode or graphical mode, etc. Well, just have a PC. And the one argument that I hate having with people as well is, well, if a game's not at 4K, it looks rubbish. When I'm like, games can look better. Not if you have a decent
monitor, right?
Games can look better at 1080p than on the console equivalent of 4K, because the console equivalent of 4K could be on like the PC equivalent of like low settings, where I could be playing it on PC at 1080p at ultra.
Yeah. That's the difference. You've got ultra and low. Yeah, you like put on low.
You've got more customization options, haven't you, on PC? But I think what people will be doing, which is going to be impressive, and I think will be the majority of people with the Xbox Series X and the Series S, a lot of people will be putting it to 1440p and playing 120. Now, you can do that off HDMI 2.0. You can do that. You don't need a HDMI 2.1 for that. And I think a lot of people were going to be such as Fortnite or big games like that a lot of people into. 120 FPS at 1440p will look fucking pucker for that game. And many other games, like COD and all sorts.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have that sort of 4K. Really, that 4K advertising is not a necessity. You don't. It's not like, oh shit, I'm not getting the pinnacle of gaming if I don't go to 4K. You 1440p on, like, we all know 1440p monitors with 144 hertz. They're fucking great.
Well, they're
compressed. They're 27 inches, especially if you get like an IPS panel. So the colours pop.
Monitor.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, for example, my monitor is 1440p, 144 hertz, right? It looks better than my 4K 60 television when I play a game.
I'll take my monitor.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think
I'll take my monitor over my TV any day of the week to play a game on now. I've got a 65-inch Samsung in the lounge, and I've got a 32-inch monitor here, and it's like 100% I'll play on this monitor all day long. Like, it just looks so much better. Even when I was playing like COD, and that you think like COD on the console, it's massive. It's actually worse on the bigger TV than it is having better frame rate and having a more dense settings on it, and having it popping, like the water in the puddles and things like that, rather than just a big semi blurry thing. Oh yeah.
But you're more immersed into it because you haven't got a massive screen to look at. It's all in front of you. You got your mouse and keyboard or controller, whatever. However people play PC. But the cool thing is now you can have your Xbox Series X, with a decent monitor, and have a mouse and keyboard if you want, and have that as your kind of setup on the desk.
Or you can have the other way round, can't you? You can have your PC, with a controller. And then you're like, Swag. Has anyone heard of Swag? Swag?
Yeah.
Webby? No. Swag.
Yeah, Swag is like FaZe, isn't he?
He's FaZe Swag. Yeah, he's like the biggest COD player. He's got like 2 million Twitch followers or YouTube followers or something like that. He plays COD. He's just been signed by FaZe. He's been PS4, and like literally, there was a video 2 days ago, and he's gone. I've done the switch. He's like, I've done it. I've gone to PC. Still on controller, but he's gone to PC. and you should watch the video. And like anyone should watch the video and be like, he's like, the difference is immense. He's like, playing on PC. He's like, it's just him. He's like, it's so much easier. It's like the response time is quicker. It's like everything has no recoil, and he's still on a controller. But he's like, because you can see better and it flows better and it's quicker. Like you don't have to think that you have to go to PC and then go to mouse and keyboard. You can do controller. You know?
But I think what's good now is about these new consoles. It's gonna. I'm not saying it. There is a big difference between the PC and these new consoles, but it's gonna even the playing field a little bit for these cross-play games.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yes. Because at the moment you've got 60 frames max on these current consoles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean what the Series X and Series S. I'm talking about the One X, One S, or whatever. Yeah. And they're cross-playing with games like Apex, Fortnite,
Dead by Daylight. It's just come along. COD.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like real quick shooters. Right? Yeah. And there's a massive difference between 120 frames and 60. Obviously, it's double,
those fast games. Yeah.
But there's a massive. I mean, Nvidia did a thing on YouTube. I can't remember. I think Linus Tech was doing it or something. Where he talked about like the guy was running past the crosshair in slow motion, and he compared 60 FPS, 120 or 144 and 3 or whatever the next one is from that, and the difference was massive.
Yeah.
So what I think is it's going to even the playing field a little bit now, because people can achieve 120 FPS on the console with 1440p, and they can cross-play more comfortably now with PC, because it's going to be almost similar areas now in terms of performance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Especially for shooters.
Yeah, I think for shooters it will make a really big difference for most people. But I think crossplay has been one of the main reasons which has managed to keep me going with the Xbox community as well. Because we've been playing a lot of Call of Duty crossplay, a lot of Rocket League, and I'm not, I don't get enough time these days to pump loads of hours into Call of Duty like I used to. So I'm always getting killed by console gamers anyway. So I don't think there's any massive advantage if you're just an average type of player anyway.
No, if you're an average type of player, they're understandable. But
average is back.
Performance, but in terms of performance, 60 FPS compared to 120 or 144 is massive difference.
Yeah, 100%.
It's massive. But like you said, if you're just an average man like Mr. Average here, then I suppose you're not going to sort of see much difference. But
I'll be honest. When I was playing on the Xbox S, I was like, "This looks good." It's like, "This looks good. It's lovely. It looks like I wasn't offended. I was like, "It's nice. It's smooth. It's quick." It was only then going to seeing Dubs' PC to take it to say, "This is mine is shit," and that's why I went back and I was like, "Mine looks terrible." I phoned you and I was like, I can't play on this anymore. My eyes, literally, my eyes were that.
His eyes become snobby.
Snobby. I had snobby eyes. It's like, mate, it's snobby eyes. Blurry. It's disgusting. How do we build? What do I need to do to build a PC? And you're like, well, let's talk about budget. Let's talk about budget. And I went to you, I was like, budget, all right. I said, all right, I'll tell you what, I could do 800 quid. Yeah, I could do 800 quid. And you're like,
800. I said, that'll pay for the GPU.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I said, we got the monitor, we got the keyboard, we got the mouse, we got the CPU, we got the motherboard, fans, all these shit.
$1,000. And you're like, don't know, mate. Don't know. And I was like, okay.
I didn't say don't know. I said, no, mate. That is not enough. I said, don't call me back unless you're serious about this.
You got to remember, I know you got a lot of listeners. So me and Dubs, we're all 36. We're all middle aged, not middle aged, but we've all got money. We've all got a decent job, or we've all
average men.
We're average men of an age where I'm not earning 200 quid a week. I can put some money in. I admit, I'm not going to lie. I put it all on a credit card. And I thought, you know what? $2,000 on a credit card over 2 years is 120 quid a month, something like that. And I was like, it was 80 quid a month. And I was like, I could do that. I could have. It's not going to break the bank. You know what I mean? I'll pay that off. I haven't paid it off. I've paid off like 200 quid in 8 months. We'll worry about that when it comes to it. The point is, I've got a kick-ass PC, which is overpowered for what I need now. But when I get the new card, which will be, let's be honest, my birthday in June next year, I'll probably get the new card.
You should be able to get one then.
Yeah, I think they'll be available. Hopefully,
I've got the CPU still. What is it? I've got an i9.
Yeah. No, you got an i7. You got 9700K.
Yeah, that's fine.
9700K.
9700 is brilliant.
I've got the bigger wattage.
You got an 850 watt.
PCU, 850p. Dave said, look,
PSU,
overdo it, buy everything. So when you need to buy the next thing, you haven't got to go, shit, I need to buy this.
Future-proof then a little bit.
We've done it all.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will work. Let's have a look. Oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, is it?
Looks like you're in the twilight zone, mate.
No.
Yeah, it's because it's got NVIDIA broadcast.
Can't see it because you've got the broadcast on.
But yeah, as I say, it's great. And the greatest thing about PC gaming, let's talk about this now. Escape from Tarkov.
Go on then.
Yeah. Escape from Tarkov. We and Dubs, when we started playing computer, we're like, let's try a different game. Yeah. So we got, what was it? Hunt Showdown.
That was good. Webby? I like Hunt Showdown. That's a great game.
It's good.
Hunt Showdown lasted for about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah. We played it a lot. We're like, it's good. It's a bit weird, bit scary, but pretty hardcore.
Unique as well, wasn't it? Unique. We like the...
Yeah, it was good. The zombie, it was all right. And then I bought, was it Insurgency?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Insurgency Sandstorm. Yeah, that's brilliant as well. Yeah.
Again, it was okay. Wasn't what we were looking for. Dubs bought
GTFO. I got GTFO.
I was like, mate, I'm not doing it. Like, it's too many. And he goes to me, Russ, we've just got to buy Tarkov. And I was like, no, mate, it's too hard. It's too hard. Like, I watch videos, and even Dr. Disrespect and Shroud are like, where are you? What's going on? Who's that? Is that you? I was just like, mate, they can't play it. What chance have I got to play it? I'm average at best. Like, and then it's like, no, actually, I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I've bought it.
I said we're going to work our way up to it. Didn't we?
Yeah.
We got to work our way up to it.
It was on sale, and I went, Dubs, it's on sale. It's like, we're going to get it. I said, I've bought it. It's like, you bought it? I was like, bought it. It's like, I'm buying it. Then we bought it. And then you're different because you've come in knowing players. When you go into that game, not knowing where you are, what you're doing, it's the scariest feeling you've ever come across.
Well, it's bad enough because you don't have an in-game map or anything. You don't know where the hell you're going.
Listen, as human beings, we fear the unknown, right?
Yeah.
That game throws you in a world of unknown. You know, it literally, you're surrounded by, you don't know anything.
The only way you get good at that game is by putting in hours, and that's the only physical way you can get good at that game. I think I'm clocked 1,000 hours in it, but that's not gameplay. I mean, not being funny, I leave my computer, I work for myself as well.
I'd say 90% of that's probably him on his inventory sorting it out.
Yeah, 100%. I leave it on for 8 hours and I come and go. I'm like, oh, quickly have a raid. And then go out again.
The thing is, what's unique about Escape from Tarkov? Obviously, Hunt Showdown had a similar idea in terms of
when you die,
you've got extraction points.
Yes.
You know, you've got tasks to do. The theme is different, as we know. Webby, we've all played it, haven't we?
It's set just for people who are listening. It's set in like Western style guns, isn't it? Like Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, so it's kind of old-fashioned guns, isn't it? A bit like Red Dead Redemption type of guns.
Yeah,
isn't
a bit like that.
Yeah.
Weird
but
women.
I mean, for ages, we were obviously we all jumped on the boat of battle royales, right? We were playing PUBG, Apex, Warzone, and you know, and don't get me wrong, battle royales are awesome, but it was getting a bit boring, you know, and we needed something a bit fresh. So then we obviously found Hunt Showdown because it was something to do with extractions, and then you are kind of in a map together against PvP, PvE, and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then we found Tarkov, which took that type of concept to another level, and it's the most realistic game I've ever played, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong.
We're coming from like 20 years of gaming, all of us, isn't it? Easily.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's the best shooter I've played, multiplayer wise. It really is, and yeah, man, that is definitely my number one game at the moment to play. I mean, we've been playing it for about 8 months now.
10 months, 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah,
like not just saying
months,
like a little bit. I'm talking every night.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, literally once a week.
Every time I turn on my PC and look in your Discord channel, you're always online playing, both of you.
Yeah, and I'm not being funny. Before my PC, before my little Xbox, I was out of gaming for about 5 years because I had kids. I met my wife then, and so I didn't have any time for it and stuff like that. And I did have an Xbox, I had a PlayStation, actually a PlayStation 4. And then I hadn't spoken to Dubs for 3 or 4 years. We lost contact a little bit and stuff like that. And then we got back into it again. And as I say, I've literally played, like, I've had discussions with my wife about this game, about how it takes over my life. And she wrote me an email saying, like she did honestly wrote me an email saying, I know you like it, and but it's like when it's coming into family life, like literally when I first started playing it, the kids were watching telly.
Disclose. This is something you meant to reveal online.
She's not watching, and I was like, the kids would be playing or watching telly, and I'd quickly come in, play Raid, and then she'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm literally 2 minutes. I'm just about to extract, like, all the time. And then, that was in the early days, and now it's 9 months later, and I still go to bed thinking about it. And then I wake up in the morning. It's bad, but if you look at the community of Tarkov, everybody is the same. Everyone absolutely despises the game to death,
but still plays it.
They can't stop playing it. They cannot stop it. They're like, I absolutely hate Tarkov, but I can't stop playing it. And that's how the game is.
I think if everyone had a pound or a penny for every time they said, "I'm never playing this game again," we all be fucking millionaires. All the Tarkov players are millionaires. Because I tell you, when you have a bad night on that game, you're like, "Fuck this! I'm uninstalling it. I'm wasting my time." And then the next day, I'm like, I know what the problem was. I was using wrong ammunition. This time, I'm changing from BP to BT. And then you play it again. And you just keep playing it. And, it's that kind of game that just grasps you.
It's very daunting for new players, though. I mean, the thing that really frustrates me with the game, I mean, I'm level 9. I've been playing it for 8 years. I'm level 9.
It's almost at the flea market.
Well done, Webb.
The thing that
you've had literally 4 Sherpas every game you've got into it. You've had people going, run this way, do this, pick this up.
We've even changed your nappy for you during.
Literally.
Has to be
do you
done.
know what we call you? We call you Mr. Casual.
I am Mr. Casual.
Mr. Casual's coming in.
Yes.
Mr. Casual.
Game.
Oh. How many times have you asked this, Webb? How do you change weapon? How do you reload?
right. The thing that's very frustrating.
For fuck's sake, Webb.
Let me finish. Is customizing your weapon is a pain in the ass because it's like you can't just whack a scope on.
No, but you haven't got the flea market.
Because I'm not level 10. But
when you get it, it's a whole new game, mate, and you can make some insane
tasks.
Okay, I will try. But the other thing is, it's buying a weapon. Which person sells the clips for this weapon? Who sells the bullets? Which bullets do I freaking get?
Yeah, it's just, flea market.
It's just
that's what I said about how realistic this game is.
Inventory management simulator.
Yeah, well, basically, but that's what they say. It's not just a first-person shooter, is it? It's like an RPG first-person shooter. Not so much RPG, I don't know, but like you do spend half your time in your infantry, like sorting out stuff, buying things, modern weapons, doing your hideout. You haven't even touched on your hideout. You haven't even unlocked it yet.
Oh, I've unlocked it, but I've not done anything.
Not touched it, exactly.
But
that's because you're just getting raped.
But it is frustrating because you'll spend like half an hour sorting out your guy, getting him all kitted out, and then you get in the game and you don't even pop one bullet off and you're dead.
But you're talking. Imagine spending half an hour doing up a meta gun yeah, having class 5, having the best armor on, having all the stuff, and that still happens. all the time. You're like, it just got headshotted. From where? I don't know. I've literally.
What's even worse is you spend half an hour prepping your gun, your armor, your bullets, everything. Like, and you look good, and you're ready. You're ready to pop heads. And then you go into labs and you get killed by a fucking hacker. That is what does your head in, mate. I tell you, that game seriously has got some problems with hackers.
Yeah, no, it does have it. They are
dealing with it. They are dealing with it.
They've banned 100,000 hackers already.
Wow.
Yeah, they're doing well with it.
That's
crazy. But it is.
Do you know what, Webby? Do you know about this game, right? But the actual real money market of this game is huge. Like, people buying rubles, like it's like 20. I think it's $15 for a million rubles. So that's what they're trying to sort out the hacking with as well, because people are like selling. Because that's why when you open and lock the flea market, there's a fee you get per item you sell to try and counteract it. But the real money sales of the game are absolutely astronomical. Like, wow. I don't know if it runs into the millions and stuff like that. But that's what I mean. This game isn't even released. It's still a beta, when it does, it's going to be AAA, 100%, and it's going to be.
I mean, what worries me a little bit when I bought the game was it's not available on a launcher like Steam. You have to buy it separate.
That worried me.
And the game is Russian. It's made by Russians.
Yeah, that worried me.
They've got my details now.
Yeah, I know. It's every person who buys the game's worry. Is like, I was like, why isn't it on Steam? And you're like, you've got to use your own launcher. Well, it's Russian. Yeah, I know. Is it safe? I don't know, but I'm getting it anyway. All right, let's do it.
but Nikita, the guy that made Tarkov, he's a genius, mate. When it comes to games, I mean, he is on it. And I think Pestily was talking about a while ago in one of his interviews.
Just to let you know, Pestily's the top streamer on Twitch. It's like,
Tarkov.
He's number one Tarkov streamer.
He's almost like a representative of Tarkov, almost, isn't he?
Yeah. He literally has Nikita's telephone number. He's got the lead dev's number.
Nikita wants to get this game finished, doesn't he? So he can move on.
Yeah.
But the plans he's got for this game, I mean, it's nothing confirmed yet, but they are talking about an open world aspect to this, right? And I think that will change the game, where you visit the dealers physically. You know,
inside the game.
Inside the game, you'll go to their hut or whatever.
Like Vince will be in factory, and like therapists to be in the midroom.
Then it becomes almost like an open world RPG / shooter, you know, where you're actually going into these places.
Yeah, because there's a lot of maps in the game, isn't there? And they're massive.
So you can talk about merging them all. You know, merging them all, and then having.
If you look at some of them, they've got, like, if you go to reserve, is it reserve? No, if you go to shoreline. You can see reserve, can't you, at the back of it, out the back tunnel. Oh, and if you go to you can see the next map in the background of it. So they're all going to be interlinked.
They've already thought ahead with that.
That's cool. That is very cool.
It's going to be more than what it is right now. It's going to be good. But and they said we want it to be hard. It's not going to be an easy game. If you want an easy game, don't play the game. And that's
another thing I want to point out as well quickly. I know we're really on Tarkov at the moment, but is that when I go off Tarkov, if I play another shooter like COD or Apex, it makes me, because my eyes and my reactions have been used to a very realistic shooter, I find the COD games and the Apex just, I don't know, difficult to play. Like, not difficult to play in terms of how to perform.
Move around,
but I find it annoying that it's so easy to kill people, like in terms of like it's auto aim or not auto aim, but it's kind of like I mean, COD's got
the hitboxes. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, the hitboxes.
That's what I mean. It's so easy to kill.
I've killed them. Yeah,
it's almost like you don't need loads of skill to just kill someone.
Yeah.
And you can come away from like 20 kills or whatever easily. Yeah. You know?
You've got to admit that when you kill a player in Tarkov, how satisfied are you?
It is more satisfying because you haven't to be more
than any other shooter. There's no other shooter that you feel more satisfied about killing a player and taking his shit.
Yeah, it is cool when you're looting them.
Unless it's a teammate, and you do that anyway, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, it's but it's
let's not talk about that.
Yeah, Dave. but yeah, I like it. But the thing that I really like about it is there's a little bit of tactics in it as well. It's not just run and gun.
You need to know where your squad is, don't you?
Yeah, but because there's no marker above your squad mates' heads, so team killing does happen quite easily in the game.
Yeah, I did it earlier.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I killed Jelly. Literally, honestly, it was a grenade. I lobbed a grenade. He's like, there's people to the left. I lobbed a grenade. He's like, oh, you've lobbed a grenade at me. I was like, I thought you were over here. He's like, no, I'm over there. I was like, oh, you're dead.
Happens all the time. Yeah,
it does. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, exactly.
But the most frustrating thing for a new player when you're in a map is there's no map. So you're like,
there's no map.
Shit.
No idea where you are.
Yeah.
No idea how you get out. No idea where anyone else is.
So I mean, so what I've been using is just a map off the internet, so I can just kind of reference where I am. Because without that, I'm just not going to get out the map if I survive. So
can I ask you a quick question? Have you actually ever played Tarkov without anyone else being online?
Yeah, I played it probably about twice on my own.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you like me and Dubs have obviously played it a lot. Like, if you get a mission, to do something like find a pocket watch, like we did the other day, without that is the only information you get.
Yeah.
You don't get any other information of where it is, like a beacon of where you've got to go. The only way you can find out what you have to do is by going onto YouTube and watching a video of someone else doing it.
Yeah.
It's the only way. That's how hard the game is. You're like, oh, I've got 3 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
Where is it? Like, you're like, oh, I don't know. You have to watch a video and then step by step pause the video and go, oh, it's over here, is it? Oh, right, yeah. Where the hell is that? I've never been there before. So, yeah, that's what makes it so good.
The good thing is you can run it offline, right? You can run the game, we can run the maps offline, and you can get used to them that way.
Yeah.
They are bringing out...
And you can set up having PvE in there as well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have PvP in there, and it's offline, so you don't lose your shit when you die.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you can intensify the PvE. You can make it easy, light, medium, heavy, whatever.
Possible.
Yeah, and that's quite good. A lot of people don't do that, but I advise you should when they first buy the game.
After a while, if they're going to be hardcore players, a lot of them, because I'm in quite a few of the Facebook group things of Tarkov, and mate, you know what me and you we say? Everyone's the same. Everyone is like, I'm sick of dying. I'm sick of this. I don't know where this is. Does anyone want to raid? Blah blah blah. And you get the odd twat. It's like, just get good. It's like, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. Like, you never get good at the game. Like, you just get lucky. That's what it is.
What game do you want to talk about, Web?
Well,
I wanted to touch on it because we said we would. So we've had a really good chat tonight.
I don't think we've touched it. I think we've grasped it. I think we've really talked about Tarkov.
So all my talking points I've pretty much gone through, to be honest, about the games.
Your haircut? Should we discuss your haircut?
I haven't had
when are you going to get that done?
Probably
when are you going to get it done?
Next year.
Because I had a chat with the wife the other day. She said she really doesn't like it anymore.
So just touching on PC games again. Obviously, you've got a lot of the indie games which don't come to console, but I think one of the most popular ones is Counter-Strike. It still surprises me how popular that is.
It surprises me. I downloaded that the other day because it's free to download, and I played it.
Yeah.
It looks terrible, but the gameplay is actually still quite good. Like, it's you can get sucked into it really quickly. Like, it's really good. It's quite blocky, quite blocky, but you like. The PvE is the PvP is quite instant, and it is still quite immersive, that game. Even 20 years it's been running, at least 20 years. I remember my old PC 20 years ago, which was like dial-up shit, and I downloaded that and played it then, and I can't even believe it's still running. They still have like tournaments, don't they?
Oh, all the time, yeah. It's nuts. It is.
Do you know what? I'm surprised it's so big. League of Legends.
Oh yeah, you need to talk to Evan about that.
That is like, do you know on Twitch that has over 1 million viewers daily?
I think it's the biggest esport game still. Which is absolutely
I don't get
insane.
it. I don't get it. I've never played it, so I'm talking from a non-playing perspective. but I don't even want to watch it. Let alone play it.
It's old now as well, but it's very popular.
Yeah. It's over 1 million. It's like the biggest watched game.
Yeah.
Are they all from China or something, or is it just something that?
Oh, all over.
Oh, it's weird.
Is there anything else you want to mention? Because I've got some questions from people.
Oh, questions. Let's go. I love questions.
I think we've gone through our opinions on the consoles, haven't we? I mean, are we going to talk about how bad the launch was for 3080s or not?
Yeah, or not? Do you want to talk about that?
It's fucking awful.
I don't know. It gives me a headache. Give me a headache thinking about it.
The thing is, though, if you've got a podcast on the go and most of them are console gamers, we've got to discuss the fact that all the new consoles got released, or announced, and they look good. And then, obviously, PC have gone, new cards. Boom. Going to absolutely piss all over the consoles, absolutely piss all over them, except... no one can fucking have one because they haven't made enough.
It really made me laugh because when they were showing the specs of especially the Series X, and then and then they were saying, "Oh, it's on comparison to a 2080," and I was like, "No way."
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, "No way," because that's better than my card.
Yeah, because the 20 series cards were quite expensive.
Yeah,
and then when they announced the 3000 series cards, and they were actually very reasonably priced.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get a 3070 when it launches at the end of the month for $450, same price as a Series X, and it's like nearly double the power of a Series X. That's bargain, So it just made me laugh, like because people are like, oh yeah, these new consoles are going to kill PCs, and then Nvidia comes out and be like, no, double.
Well, they're going to kill the current ones, but we're doing next gen as well.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to kill the current ones. They're not. The 2080s and the 2070s are almost the equivalents.
Yeah, they're the equivalent of the next gen console.
Yeah, and that's
so it's still a great card.
But the thing is, with Nvidia or whatever, and AMD, or they release cards every 18 months, what was it, Webby?
Every couple of years or so,
every couple of years, right? And consoles release their new upgraded version, like we're talking about the PS4, PS4 Pro, every 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's
sort of like mid-gen, isn't it? Mid-gen, like 3 years later, and then 7 years later, they're really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time to wait. Whereas with Nvidia, like every 18 months, you can upgrade to like. And we must admit that the jump between the 2080 and the 3080 is so significant.
Oh, it's massive.
And they haven't done that in years, have they? To be that significantly different.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, what the fuck's the 4080 is going to be like? Is it going to be like that? It's going to be nuts.
And every time PS2 to PS3, you're like, how can they make it any better? And then all of a sudden they've just done something, and it's just.
But then with console gens, the jumps becoming less. Well, it's becoming less if you look at the graphical quality of the games.
On what consoles?
Yeah, so if you look at the games like from 360 to Xbox One, a lot of the games are remasters. Even now, all they've done is HD them up, and then you look at the Xbox One X to the Series X. Again, that jump in graphical quality of games is becoming smaller. So what they're aiming for now is more of is better performance. Yeah. So I mean, the jump between 20 series cards and 30 series cards is quite big. Compared to the usual jump, so probably the 30 to 40 series will be smaller. But then
maybe
if you're looking at it as a cost-based thing, you could run your 3080 until the gen after next gen consoles easily because
I agree.
But because all the games are going to be made to run obviously on the next gen console, so as long as your card is better than those consoles, you're going to be
you'll be a league above. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
the 3080 is going to be good for the next 3 or 4 years, easy.
Probably even longer if you want to make it.
Even longer, yeah.
For 650.
I just wish that my mate who built my PC fucking didn't make me spend all this money on a shit card that's now going to be out of date 8 months later. Why did he say, get a 1060 Ti, that'll do you till 6 months, and then you can buy the new card?
Yeah, but the new card you probably won't be able to get till next year anyway, so... It's even longer wait.
And can you tell the world what card you've got?
I got 2070 Super.
Yeah, which is quite good.
Yeah.
It was £579, I believe.
Yeah. But
how much did you pay for your one?
Now.
Webby, have you told everyone that you had a 2070 Super and then you sold it?
Yeah, and then I bought
didn't
another
get
one.
your new card, and then had to buy another card again.
Yeah, but I didn't lose any money. I bought a brand new one for the price I sold mine for.
And you got warranty?
Yeah, I bought it brand new.
Yeah. Bonus, mate.
Yeah. So it worked out all right. Yeah. Obviously, you've learned from your mistake never to presume that you're going to get the next gen one delivered or whatever. But we won't touch base on this. I can see that vein popping in your head already.
Well,
so we'll move on, shall we?
Did you pre-order a new card as well?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you cancel your pre-order?
Yes.
Yes. So everyone who's pre-ordered a new card in this room has cancelled their orders.
Well, and I'll tell you what.
Obviously, I didn't sell my current card. I still have my 28.
That's a really stupid move.
Oh, I know. But the thing that pissed me off was it's the same with Dave, because we both ordered through overclockers and the scanners or something.
They fucked everyone over.
Well, because they didn't say it was a pre-order, they said it was an order. So when I ordered mine, it said it was coming
they took
in the next day.
Money.
So they took £720 out of my bank account. I waited 4 weeks. Oh yeah, you're 500 and something in the queue. And while I was in the queue, they had 48 cards of the one that I ordered shipped in, and that was it in a month.
48.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to cancel it and get my money.
Wow. And UK wide, 48 cards.
No, for 48 because of that specific model of card that I'd ordered.
Yeah.
So
still shit.
Well, I got overcharged for the card as well, which annoyed me because when it came, if there were people that ordered it from the same site and got it for $650, whereas I got charged $720. But
that's bullshit.
Now, Nvidia are doing drops of their founders card every week or so.
I'm gonna hold out for a founders card. I think,
and I want a founders now because they're not the prices aren't being bumped up, so it's the standard $650.
Yeah.
And I think
it's the best. I personally think it's the best looking.
Yeah.
And it's the best. It's the best. The way that the airflow runs through it, it's like the best system. Yeah, with the fans. Yeah.
100%.
And I think it looks fucking sexy, that card. Good looking card.
So that's what I'm holding out on now. But I think it's going to be.
But my graphics card, currently is front facing. So like everyone else is on the side, but mine's on like that.
It's nice.
So I'm either going to have to get. And there's only this was the only one, wasn't it, that did it? I'm pretty sure. It's Aorus card. Aorus. They're the only ones that did it, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to have to wait for another one to make us.
You can make all the cards like that. It's just depending.
Oh yeah, it's true. But mine's RGB, so
Yeah, but your one looks with the 3 fans or RGB facing front facing looks good. Webby, do you want to get to the questions then? If you said there's some.
Yeah, so I've got a question on Discord from Tommy049. It says, "What made you make the change from console to PC, and do you wish you'd done it sooner?"
Well, I mean, I would say mainly what we've talked about. You know, the amount of games. You know, the amount of games you've got to access, even in beta mode or what we're talking about. That I like the options that you can. The performance options with PC. I like the fact with PCs you can do just not gaming, you can do other things with it as well. But I would say mainly because of performance, and because I'm a shooter, like as in I love shooter games, FPS games. Performance, as we know, is very important for that. And obviously you get inspired by a lot of streamers that play on PC, and you're like, wow, how are they getting that 100 plus frames? I want that. And sort of that was one of my main reasons for sort of transitioning from console to PC. In terms of whether I would have done it earlier, I would have done it earlier. But like I said, it was all about the convenience of whether I can have a desk or not at a time. And I mean, I highly recommend it to anyone. That's my point of view. What about you, Mr. Average?
I'd say before the main reason why I went to from console to PC was the appearance, like the amount of detail and depth. It looks so much better. It's unbelievable. Like, unless you've seen it to believe it, you won't know how good. Like, the fact that you can adjust the shadows and the textures from low, medium, high, ultra, like, and some of the stuff like the reflections in the water. You know how good a game can actually look on a PC versus a console. You can't compare it. They're like, it's so far advanced on a PC. And it flows, like, you know, the flow rate is great. But when you're actually looking at a game and you go, have you seen how good that sunset looks? And you actually take a second to appreciate what you're looking at. You don't get that on a console. No, I just mean, like, not necessarily in Tarkov, but even when I was playing Call of Duty or like any other game, like, you know, like Dead Standing. Was it Death? You know, a game when you run around. Yeah. You were saying that game looks amazing.
It's like, amazing looking.
That's what I mean. Like, you just can get immersed in it and go, rather than playing a game purely for what you're doing, rather than actually appreciating what you're viewing. That's unexpectedly what I appreciate most about it. Would I have done it earlier? If I would have done it earlier, I would have done it like 10 years ago earlier. Like installed it in part of my life a long time ago, rather than I would have done it a couple of years earlier. No, I would have either done it 10 years ago and then grown up with it rather than consoles. But I love, you know, I've always been a casual player. I've played FIFA, I've played this, but, you know, me and Dubs, we used to play a lot of Championship Football Manager, didn't we? We used to play Football Manager, like,
which doesn't require graphical performance at all.
No, it doesn't. Like, we used to play it on the PC, and there's a large community who play that game.
We used to play it on laptops, didn't we?
One thing I would say I appreciate more than I ever thought I would do about PC is the community. Like, you can go, like, with Discord and everything like that. You don't do it as much as me. I don't know what Webby does, but, like, you can join a forum or a Discord from any game you're going in, and everyone in there is friendly, helpful, tries to give you tips. You know, no one's like, oh, you're fucking shit, blah blah blah. When you're on, like, Xbox or PlayStation's even worse. Like, unless they're your mate that you know, you don't really go, oh, you're quite a good player, let's be friends. Do you know what I mean? But on here, it just seems to be everyone's willing to help. Yeah, everyone's willing to help each other out and go, give you advice.
In game, yeah.
I agree, yeah.
Do you agree, Webby?
So you're talking about when you're meeting people in game, right?
In game, yeah, in game, or in lobbies, or in Discords, or like everyone's like, "Oh, join my Discord."
And I've got Discord. To want to actually chat as well. They actually
and I'm like, actually, all right, I'll join the Discord. And now I'm actually like, oh, well, like, people are playing the game. You like jump in, you go, "Oh, you all right?" And they're like, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're about to jump in. Come in." You're like, okay, you know, you don't feel as intimidated than sending a friend request to a random person. When I used to play console, I was sending a friend request. I'm like, "Fuck is this?" No, you know what I mean?
I do actually agree with most of that. One of the reasons why I launched 360 Gamercast back in 12 years ago, nearly 13 years ago, was because obviously the party chat, the game chats were very hostile.
Yeah,
especially in Call of Duty, in COD 4.
Yeah. Are you talking about if you're in the actual chat of all the players?
Yeah, in the game chat. Yeah, it was.
Everyone is evil. They're just like, you're a fucking dick, you fucking prick. You're like, oh, fucking hell, really?
Yeah. So obviously started the community, and we got away from that and went into party chat, and the community for the Xbox community now is obviously it's grown into PlayStation, PC, etc. It's good because we all know each other, right? But when I went to PC 3 years ago, obviously there was a very few people in my community who game on PC. Obviously there's a few, so I found myself going into game chat a lot more, just to try and meet people or just to play games and enjoy them. And I very rarely met any arseholes. But I think a lot of that is maybe to do with the sort of games that I've been playing. They've been the more like
maybe
the military shooters, like the Ghost Recons as well. You get a lot of people that want to play it properly, the more mature.
These are the games that need. The thing is, these games need communication, don't they? They need you to like help each other out, like not be like, "What are you doing, you dick?" Like, don't need your negative input. Like, what have I done wrong? Where are they? Like, help me out rather than put me down.
Because what I've found is because I play Call of Duty quite a bit still with my Xbox friends. On PC, it's a little bit different. So on Xbox, if you go into party chat, it blocks out the game chat, whereas on PC it doesn't. So what I found out very quickly to turn off game chat on Warzone because I was in a party chat, and within a couple of minutes, people were in the game chat going just swearing and being racist and saying all sorts of shit. I was like, I have to mute this. I can't be dealing with it. So it's still there. It's still prevalent in those sort of games. Which is a shame, and I think consoles are trying to sort that out, which is good.
They have less options, though, don't they? That's the thing with consoles. They have less options in terms of that type of thing. With PC, you think all this software is made on PCs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of easier to integrate that into PCs than it is consoles. But like I said, I think the new consoles are going to be quite special for the console gamers. So
yeah, I think they're going to be good. But just talking about Discord, I think Discord's one of the best things to come out in the last few years because
it is. Yeah.
Before Discord, I mean, we've got a Twitter presence, but our Facebook group's always been very popular. We've got over 500 people in there.
Wow.
But what I'm finding now in the last 6 months or so is actually the Discord group. It's got less people in it, but it's more active than the Facebook.
Well, Discord is more PC, in my opinion.
It's more interactive as a whole, really.
It's more interactive, and it's more friendly because what I find with Facebook is there's a lot of people trying to troll on there or just be dicks.
They hide behind the keyboard, don't they? And then they just fuck off.
But whereas on our Discord group, everyone just seems to be more friendly and wanted to play games and stuff.
Yeah, it's good. Any more questions, Webby, on there? Or?
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look on Facebook. So Nicky Wilson, one of our residents, he says he spent £1,500 on a PC to run Doom 3 and Half-Life 2 on recommended settings in 2004. In 2006, I was struggling to hit even minimum required specs on most games. It would have cost another $2,000 to make a PC capable of running games on Ultra. Why was it so expensive, and it seems even more expensive now? $1,400 for a graphics card, fuck off.
Well, you wouldn't spend 1,400 quid on a graphics card now.
Well, you can. I mean, I've got two people I know of in my community who've bought 3090s.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying you don't need to get up to settings.
100%, you don't need to.
So by Nvidia's releasing the 30 range, we're talking about how long that will take. You've got the 3080 for 650,
and the 3070.
That's going to give you. It's going to give you a long time. It's going to future-proof you for ages.
Let's be honest. We're all of a period of we know, right? 2004 was 16 years ago, and computer technology in itself over the last 16 years has evolved so much that it's nowhere near as expensive now as it was then.
Like, how much did he say he spent? How much did he say he spent back in what?
1,500.
2004.
1,500 when? 2004.
Yeah.
2004.
And then two years later, his PC was pretty much obsolete. But I think what people.
So if you spent £1,500 now, but if you spent £1,500 to £2,000 on PC Part Pick or whatever, and built it yourself, I'm not saying.
Even if you bought a pre-built.
Yeah, it would last you a lot longer.
Yeah, but I mean it's going to last longer than 2 years right now. Like Mr. Average was saying about how technology's evolved so quick. They perform so. The longevity of these cards is great. I mean, Material's been using his 1080 for however long he's had it for.
Oh yeah, I know
and he's running games at a high level.
Yeah, I know people who are running 1060s, and they're like, it's still brilliant. Like, do you know what I mean?
Webby, you were running a 1060 on your laptop, and you were running games on there, all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it was a time zone. Like 2004 was obviously a point of time where the leaps were so big,
100%.
so quickly that a 2-year period you've gone, actually, fuck, we could do this. Shit, actually, no, we could do this. We could do this, but this is going to cost you another $2,000. But this is actually really good. Where what you've bought isn't that great? Do you know what I mean? And that's just unfortunate in that retrospect of it all.
I think PC gaming
which
now.
16 years ago. I mean, look at the TV you could have bought 16 years ago. You would have, if you got a flat screen 16 years ago, you're looking at 1,500 quid, you know. And then 2009, you pick up the same flat screen 4 years later for a quarter of the price. So I think it's just technology advances from the period.
Well, you think of the mid 2000s,
we're at the
how
peak
fast.
now.
The technology in the mid 2000s was moving very fast. It was very
so fast.
You know,
so fast.
You look at consoles, you look at social media, you look at
everything. It just went through the roof, mate.
Now it's
skyrocketed.
And now it's kind of slowed down. Yeah, it's kind of
plateauing a bit, isn't it?
So I've got a screaming child in the background.
I can hear.
Having a nappy change, she doesn't like it.
No, who does? Who does?
I have mine done on the regular. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
Especially during Tarkov sessions.
Tarkov, yes.
Yeah. So PCs now you could spend say if you spent $2,000, that would last you.
That's what I did
ages.
8 months ago, and I have no concerns that that's going to last me.
Not even $2,000.
3 years.
1,500.
$2,000. Yeah.
1,500.
That's including the monitor.
To 1,800 to $2,000. You know, you don't need to be spent like we were talking about. You don't need high-end gear to run games at a high-end.
The thing is, the difference as well is we've all built. Did you build your PC, Webby?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
We've all built our PCs.
I've done 3 now.
I always constantly look to see what you can buy because I like to do it. Yeah, and if you were to say, "Oh, I want to buy a PC for 1,500 quid," what you will get versus what you can build will be significantly underpowered versus if you take the time to build it yourself.
Yeah.
Now, it is a bit more time-consuming, but if you're actually interested in gaming, you should be interested in doing it. But what you can build versus what you get pre-built is you know, I'd say at least 500 or 600 quid more expensive than what you would do.
I'll reinforce that point. So my spec on my PC, I spent about 1,900 on it. Right, this is excluding the monitor. Right, okay. So this is just on the tower, all the parts inside it. Okay. Now, if you were to buy one on Corsair do a PC called Corsair One, I think it's called something like that. Webby, is that what it's called? Corsair One?
I think it is.
I don't know anything about.
They have a certain range of towers.
Right.
Yeah?
I was looking at it before I built mine. So
yeah, and I think it's one. I think it's called Corsair One or something. And to get the same spec that what I've got, and it had less RAM. It had 16 to 32. You were looking at $3,000 plus.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So you're talking like a grand saving there, over a grand saving there.
50%.
And you're paying for a name. I mean, Corsair is very good, but you're paying for them to build that. Where you're like, you could just buy a tower for like 100 quid, and put all the shit in there, you know, and you don't have to spend $3,000, $3,500. But I mean, I agree with that average completely. You know, you just the amount that you get for your money if you build it. Is
it took you a week to build yours the first time, but when we built mine, I had literally never seen a motherboard in my life. I had never seen a motherboard. I'd never seen a CPU. I ordered it all off Amazon. It all shit got delivered, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then Dubs come around and we built it, and I was like, actually, it's not that I'm a mechanic by trade, obviously for like 20 years, so I know cars, ECUs, I know how it all works, like with wiring and stuff, and it's pretty simple. You put A in B, and then it works.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle,
and
really,
it is. It's plug connect.
It's a lot easier now, isn't it? Than it used to be.
Yeah, and I know some of it is about routings and stuff like that, but like you said, videos. If you give yourself a week, you'll have it built. And all you need to know, the basics: motherboard, CPU, cooling system, GPU, case. That's it,
Power
and
supply,
fans,
put
and
your
that's it.
cables in.
And a PSU to actually power it.
And a PSU. Yeah, all right. We've got a few components.
Oh no, I built it. There's no power. Why? Why
Well,
is there power?
Buy it for £3,250. But yeah.
Oh look, there's a plug here. Where does this go?
Yeah.
We had a few of that, didn't we? Though we're like, what is this doing? I have absolutely no idea.
We've got this cable out. It was like this, and it was like 10 things coming out.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh,
we're like,
fuck
what the fuck does this go?
And then they're options. We don't have any of them.
Fans.
There were fans.
But the cool thing is as well is you can customise the look of your build however you want.
Yeah.
So
it's all around the tower, and it's the starting point is the tower, and then you build from there. So I went with an open face front with an RGB.
Can you show yours off?
Yes, a turn is. Yes, a turn is.
Mine.
You have to turn your. You have to turn your broadcast.
Yeah,
you'd have to do it on.
Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So this is mine. Yeah. So this is my graphics card, obviously here. That's why I say it's got a front facing. We've got a water cooled
AIO
there. Yeah, it's obviously behind there. We've got 32 gig of RAM. We've got another outlet there. We've got 3 fans down the front, which all change, color coordination from it all. But again, I say it's all around the case. This is what I wanted, Got that down there. You've got extra storage and stuff down here. But
it's nice.
It's all about the case. And I went for a Leanne Lee, didn't I? And it was
Leah.
It's a really good case. As I say, Dubs went for a different one. He said get this one, and I was like, no, I want a different case. I want to have some individuality about it all.
Makes sense.
But yeah, that's why I wanted. But the one thing I wanted more than anything was the graphics card to be front facing. Yeah. With the thing, and we found, haven't we, a little bit like the air cooling on my system is crazy cool. Like having it facing that way. It runs so cool. But again, this is a different thing. If you wanted to build one, you better have your light. You've got a mini tower, a massive tower. No RGB, full RGB, whatever you like. And that's the thing. If you buy a PS4, if you buy a PS5 or an Xbox, you get the same thing every other person's got. You get a bit.
If that works.
Tired.
I don't know if that's worked or not.
See a bit.
My camera's off, isn't it?
Yeah, your camera's
off. Yeah. I just turned the background off in video, Dubs. That's all I did. It's me and you, Webby. How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at questions.
Okay. Any more?
There's a bit of a conversation. Dave Rampage says, why do you not like playing games or sitting on the sofa on a 75-inch screen?
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. No. Like I said, I've got a 65-inch Samsung in the lounge, and I like playing games on it. But what I like more about is the immersiveness of a PC, in the sense of when you're playing the game with the headphones on, sitting here, like you feel like you're in it, don't you? You feel like it's more submersive than sitting in your lounge. Like if I'm playing FIFA, for example, I would probably rather play that on the big telly because it's a big football pitch, this and that, blah blah blah. It depends on the game, but as I say, for the sake of Tarkov and other first-person shooters, where you have to be, and they're all hardcore shooters in the sense that there's no HUD, there's no aim assist, there's no body armor. Well, there is body armor, but there's no extra armor. Your reaction times are critical, aren't they? Like, I need to be here, looking at what I'm doing. I can't be sitting all the way back here, like feet up, in the slippers, not playing. It's fine, but you fucking die more than you don't.
Yeah.
Also, another thing to point out is performance. Like the performance that you get on the TV is nowhere near significant or as good.
The picture quality is nowhere near as good. The frame rate's nowhere near as good. And so just the input. It's just not the input's. Not really a big issue because it's to say there was no real lag.
I think a lot of it's down to personal preference, to be honest. I mean, I chop and change between both. I mean, I mostly game on the PC these days, but Just very recently, I've been enjoying some PlayStation 4 exclusive games. And
I'm annoyed that I haven't got to play Last of Us 2.
Okay,
I want to
fair
play
enough. I mean, because I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima very recently, and it's just quite nice just to sit on the sofa, feet up, and play a game.
Chill.
So I do like to do both. I mean, I still play my Xbox every so often. But
is that a single player game?
Yeah, just single player games. I don't really play anything online on console anymore. But
no, that's the difference.
Yeah,
single player games are good on the TV because you're not under any pressure.
Yeah, you can just relax.
Anything competitive, realistically, you want to sit in a chair and actually do well at.
Yeah, and I think for me as well is it's just quite nice to have a dedicated gaming area as well. So
100%.
So
don't come on that door.
So the family can watch whatever they want on the TV.
Are you in the baby change room then?
No, I'm in the front room. So my missus is just behind me, actually, just watching TV. I mean, my missus is a gamer anyway, so I could just jump on the TV whenever I want anyway, to be quite honest.
Yeah. It's not going to complain too much.
But it's quite nice because she can do whatever she wants with the TV and I can have my corner and game.
I think it also depends what type of gamer you are. You know, like if you're a gamer that sort of just wants to play, single player games, or even wants to play COD on like a 65-inch screen, but isn't that bothered about really being overly competitive with it or whatever. Gamers. Just like it looks good, it looks fine, you know. But I think if you want that sort of more higher performance,
you want the edge,
a bit more.
You want to give yourself that edge.
On a desk, you've got a monitor there, and you can really get involved. Like Average was saying, if you sit back and put your feet up, you can't really kind of zone in or hone in your into that game as much as you could. But like I said, it all depends on what game it is and what type of player you are.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think both are catered. Both ways or methods are both catered for everyone. You know, it's just depends.
As I say, a lot of people are single player games in the sense of a lot of people who play FIFA really only play FIFA, or other games of the set genre, should we say? Like, or if you play Tomb Raiders and stuff like that, then I'll be honest. If you were to play Tomb Raider on your 65-inch TV and go, I've always played Tomb Raiders on my 65-inch. It looks lovely, blah blah. If I said to you, okay, I'm gonna download that on my PC, come and have a look at it on here, 100% they'll be like, that looks so much better on your monitor than it does on that TV. You know what I mean? Because it's expanded. It's on 1080. Or it's on whatever. It's like, that looks better. You can't. There's no denying.
Yeah. Another thing is, like, if you had a mate round and you wanted to play FIFA, right? You wouldn't. You find it difficult to both sit at a desk.
Yeah, exactly. Get a dining chair.
Like that guy was saying, got a 65-inch screen, and you want to play FIFA with like 4 buddies or 3 buddies, or whatever. Perfect, right? It's a perfect setup, perfect layout for that kind of gaming. Like I said, depends on what type of game you're playing and what type of player you are. Yeah. If you're kind of like us, obviously we play all sorts of games, but mainly shooters. I'm on my own at this desk. I haven't got my mate with me here or my mate there. I'm online with my friends, so I can be like there on a desk, a designated area. But like I said, both methods are good. But if you're going to talk about performance and stuff, you go to a monitor every time.
100%.
Next question.
I think that's it actually, because people weren't very interested in PCs.
My wife had a question.
Go on then.
She said, "Oh, so you're getting a new card next year, are you?" And I said, "Oh, you listen to that
because he can't get it this year."
Yeah, only because they're unavailable currently.
Yeah, because no one can get one at all. Yeah, it's annoying.
But a good chat.
That's the end.
Wrap it up then.
Edit it as you will.
That is it.
But
that is it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Webby. We'll do it again if you want.
Anytime you like.
Yeah.
It's always been good.
Cool. So that's the end of the show, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. You can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/360gamercast. Visit the website, 360gamercast.com, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, the usual places. So from me, Mark Webb, gamertag, piss on D, Steam ID, Webby, 360G.
Yeah, and if you ever want to come in on a raid with me and Mr. Average, what would be the best way to go on Discord? WR1 Gaming? Is that what our Discord's called, Mr. Average, or what?
I'm trying to think.
Idea. You got no idea. You fucking
So
idiot.
professional.
I got no idea. We're trying to
well.
build a community too, but it's...
That's all right. I'll put a link in the show notes for this episode. It's fine.
WR1 something.
We are one. All 3 words. That's.
Don't worry. I'll
the
put a
best
link in
way
the
to
notes
go.
for you. It's fine.
You put a link in.
Yeah. And then obviously, if you want to.
Do you want to follow me, Mr. Average UK on Twitch, or Mr. Average UK on Facebook Gaming?
Yeah, and Dirty Dubs on Twitch as well, but unfortunately the E is a 3 on Deadly, so it's a bit annoying, but that's the way to find me on Twitch as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
So from everyone here, thank you very much. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to 360 Gamercast. And remember, next time the boss isn't around, join us in the forums at 360gamercast.com.